Recording.
All right, so I'm going to throw this out there. I don't. Okay, let me back up. So my first motorcycle that I ever owned, first cycle, for lack of better terms, was a mid to early 80s. I think it was like an 83, 84 Honda ATC 200. It was bored out to a 250cc motorcycle or three-wheeler, whatever you want to call it. And I rode that thing, I would say probably 4 or 5 years. And my neighbor across the street came to me one day while I was working on the bike and asked if I would be interested in a motorcycle. I was 17 years old. I asked her how much she wanted for the motorcycle. She told me it was free if I come over to her shed and get it out. So I filled up an air tank that we had in a garage and went over, filled up the tires, and started pushing it across the street. And my mom came out, asked what I was doing. I told her what was going on, and she talked to the neighbor lady. The neighbor lady said, "Yep, I gave him the bike." Not really that. There's a story behind the motorcycle there, but she just wanted it out of her garage, out of her shed. So I had that bike for 20 years. And I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I want something modern. I want something fuel injected. I want something big bore. I want something that I can get out on the highway like I'm riding now. I've got a 30-mile commute via highway one way. So I wanted a highway bike. So I started saving up some money, and I had about $10K sitting in the bank for either a down payment on a bike or just to buy it outright. So I started researching different motorcycles. I looked at the Yamaha Super Tenere. I looked at the KTM Adventure 790. I looked at the Indian Scout, not the 60, not the Bobber, just a regular Scout. I looked at the Yamaha Bolt R-Spec, and I didn't really give too much thought to the Kawasaki or Suzuki line. The Honda, the Hondas are good bikes, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't really too keen on the V-Star line or the Star Looter or the other big touring bike that they had. So I got home one morning from a coffee and cars, and my neighbor next door, his name is Bob, he's like, "Man, I didn't know you ride." And I'm like, "Yeah, I ride. And he goes, "Well, I've got a bike at home that I can't ride anymore because of my back surgery." It's my neighbor's son now, so I know these people, like they're good people. And I was like, "All right." And I was like, "I do not want," and I told my wife, I was like, "I'll go look at it, but I don't want a full dress bike. I want something small." So I say smaller. I didn't want a full dressed bagger. And I go over and I look at it, and there sits a 2010 Kawasaki Vulcan Voyager, and a beautiful bike. It's actually the one I'm sitting on right now. And I asked him, I said, "How much are you wanting for it?" And he said, "If it runs," he goes, "I'm asking $7,300 for it." He said, "It's only got about 7,000 miles on it." He goes, I want about $7,000 for it just because of the super low mileage." And he goes, "However, if you want it," he said, "I'll take $4,000. So I go home. A couple days later, I go back over with a battery. And one of the benefits of working in a auto warehouse is, hey, put this on my charge. If it doesn't work, I'm bringing it back. No big deal. So I go over with the battery and I asked Bob, I said, "What did you do to the bike before you parked it?" And he said, "I filled the tank up with fuel. I put Sta-Bil in it. I let it idle in the garage for 15 minutes. I shut it off and I've never started it again." So I popped the seat off and hooked the battery up. Gauge cluster came on and I fired the bike up and she came to life. So here's my thing. I ride with my whole family rides, okay? My dad's got early 2000 Honda VTX 1800. I'll put a picture of it up there somewhere. My sister has a 883 Iron. Her husband has an 883 Hugger. And some kind of Ultra Electra Glide, something. I say that because the bike's got a salvage title. I'm not making fun of Harleys. The bike's got a salvage title. It started out as one bike. It ended up as another bike. And I can't remember exactly which way, if it went from Ultra to Classic or if it went from Classic to Ultra. I can't remember. So anyway, my other sister, she's got a Suzuki GN125. And her husband has a old Honda CB750K. So I personally really don't care what you ride. You got two knees in the breeze. You're going down the road. Everybody's doing the same thing. And everybody's got the same goal. I don't understand the absolute hate for Japanese motorcycles from the Harley-Davidson community. Harley makes a decent bike. I'm not denying that. Honda makes a decent bike. Kawasaki makes a decent bike. You talk to a lot of people are like, well, it's old school mentality. The old school mentality was you're on a bike. The old school mentality was you got two knees in the breeze. The old mentality was we're in this together. I don't understand where it's either Harley or nothing came from that so many Harley-Davidson riders preach these days. If you don't want a Harley, don't get a Harley. If you want a Kawasaki, get one. If you don't like Japanese bikes, don't buy one. Buy an American bike. The options are freaking limitless. So I sit on top of a 1700cc Kawasaki Vulcan Voyager that's full dressed. Now this is where I'm going to start poking fun at the Metric Boys too. Because I get off of this bike and the Harley-Davidson look is so iconic that the first time I rode this bike to a Coffee and Cars, the very first time, I had a guy walk up to me, man, that's a really nice Harley-Davidson. I was like, I appreciate it, but it's not a Harley, it's a Kawasaki. And he told me that there was no way that a bike that looked like that could be a Kawasaki. I said, well, believe it or not, I'll show you the title for it. The second time I rode it to a little hot dog stand here in my hometown. And as I'm getting ready to get back on the bike after eating my Conies, guy walks up to me and goes, man, that's a really nice looking Victory. I was like, it's not a Victory, it's a Kawasaki. He goes, well, I saw the V. I said, it's a Vulcan. Harley-Davidson's absolutely, without a question, have the iconic cruiser down the highway look. And you know what? There's a lot of them that are really good looking, and there's a lot of them that are really, they want the opposite way. They want full Bruce Bro, man. In the words of the wise and almighty Yami Noob. On the other side of the token, if Harleys are so ugly for the Metric Boys, why do the V-Star riders, why do the Vulcan riders, why do all of the Metric riders go, I want a Batwing, I want bags, I want a tour pack, I want highway lights, I want highway bars, I want a V-twin, I want a big snorkel hanging off the side of my bike. Why is it that if Harley-Davidsons are that junky and that ugly, do we go, that's how I want my bike to look? And what's funny is my bike, if I go, like I live in Ohio, I work in Kentucky, and if I go, I got a Vulcan Voyager, they're like, okay, they don't know anything about it. But the moment I say it's their version of the Road King, they go, oh, okay, I get it. To me, that's just absolutely hysterical that my bike they've never heard of, but they know what a Road King is. And so, I mean, I don't understand the dislike from the Metric guys, and I don't understand the hate from the Harley guys. I don't care, man. You got two wheels, you're going down the highway, I'm doing 75 miles an hour. Man, you know what? This is life, man. I don't care if I'm on my 400. I don't care if I'm on my 1700. I don't care if I'm on my wife's 650 V-Star. Going down the highway is going down the highway, man. And I don't get it. I mean, I know this video is going to get hate. I know this guy's video is going to get people beating up on me, but you know what? That's cool. I get it. And you know, I kind of feel bad for leaving the sport bike bros out of it. Because, I mean, think about that. I mean, they're, in their world, a 1,000cc bike is ungodly huge. A 1,200 bike is awesome. And here we are riding 1,700, 1,600s, 900s like it's nothing. And I don't know, man. I don't get it. It's just me putting words out there thinking, well, I'm going down the road. So I hope you guys enjoy my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Like I said, personally, it don't matter, dude. If you got two knees in the breeze, you're going down. Speaking of, there's a couple chicks going down the road. But anyway, so let me know what you guys think. If I'm off kilter, if my line's train of thought, or what. But see you guys next round. See you guys in the comments.